and to employ all proper means to discourage the use of and traffic in the same. Welcome to the Women's Christian Temperance Union for October. I see some new faces. This warms my heart. Before I get started with our agenda, let me take a few minutes to welcome our new members and give you a little history of who we are and why we're here today. The Women's Christian Temperance Union, or the WCTU, was founded in November 1874 in Cleveland, Ohio. Frances Elizabeth Caroline Willard, our president from 1879 to her last breath in 1898, propelled the WCTU to heights no one could have ever believed. She was an educator, an activist, and a champion for women's rights. She understood that temperance, a life without alcohol, and women's suffrage, the right to vote, went hand in hand. So she began a crusade against alcohol and sought to ban the sale of it. This is why we are here today. Temperance is a women's issue. It would never be resolved if left solely in the hands of a man. We cannot consent to be silent any longer. In 1916, the men and women of Washington State voted to be a drug state. And last year, in 1917, we enacted a stricter bone-dry law. Soon, the whole country will follow. Banning alcohol is not our only battle. Women have fought for an 8-hour workday, free kindergarten for every child, raising the age of sexual consent from 10 to 16, prison reform, and many other issues that plague our society. It will be a fight. It has always been a fight. But the hope of millions lie on our shoulders, ladies. But we have strong shoulders. 346,000 shoulders to be exact in the WCTU. We are the largest women's organization in the United States. We will not stop. On our agenda today is a most important item. We have reason to believe that alcohol is still being sold in one of our local Renton businesses. If anyone has information about this matter, please see me after our meeting. And before you leave, do not forget to help yourself to some wonderful ginger snaps Mrs. Jane Duff made for all of us. Thank you again for coming.
I just read this morning that the Red Cross is not only needing socks for our soldiers, but there are also orphans that need our help.
When the American Red Cross put out that urgent call for knitted goods, I stayed up for weeks knitting until my fingers couldn't move. So far, I've made 72 pairs of socks, 56 wristlets, and 11 sweaters. But I admit I'm slowing down. My fingers can't move like they used to.
I've been knitting as well. I can't believe the Red Cross has the funds to hand out patterns and yarn for free.
Are you loving it?
Eula has many gifts. She is an amazing mother, wonderful cook, and a loving wife, but knitting.
God did not bestow that gift onto me. I tried.
She tried.
That's all well and good, dear. We all have something to contribute during this trying time. Did you hear? The University of Washington students are collecting moss and creating bandages to send overseas.
Yes. Apparently our Washington moss does an excellent job at preventing blood loss. Although I cannot knit, I can bake. Just last week, our bake sale raised $50 for the American Red Cross.
It really is a wonder what those doctors can do today. Turning moss into medicine, practically. I hear that in Europe, they have women doctors. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, that would be interesting. I wonder if they would be a little more trustworthy handing out prescriptions. Who knows how many people are still getting their alcohol kicked through the pharmacy.
gets my goat that Mr. Fred Brendel is getting away with selling alcohol.
Well, what can we do on just a hunch? If only we had proof.
But what if we did? What if we caught them red-handed?
Maggie, are you suggesting we spy on Mr. Brendel?
Of course not. I'm merely suggesting we observe the situation.
But of course.
Count me in. I think this is a wonderful idea. When shall we observe the pharmacy?
Let us wait until after the next WCTV meeting. In the meantime, maybe more people will come forward with additional information.
Agreed.
I hereby solemnly promise, God helping me, to abstain from all distilled, fermented, and malt liquors, including beer, wine, and hard cider, and to employ all proper means to discourage the use of and traffic in the same. Welcome to the November Women's Christian Temperance Union meeting. First and foremost, I would like to thank all who have come forward with information about the Brendel Pharmacy. Your observations have been very helpful. If anyone has additional information, please do let us know. Today, I would like to remind everyone of the upcoming election on Tuesday. As you may be aware, November 5th is election day, where you all have the opportunity to vote for our future president, among other things. May I remind you, ladies, of the privilege we have here, living in Washington State, where we have been able to vote freely since 1910. Think of your sisters in other parts of this country who are still shackled and bound without the right to vote, without a voice. We must be that voice, that beacon of hope for all women and young girls. Susan B. Anthony was arrested and treated like a criminal for placing a ballot in the 1872 presidential election. They thought they could make an example of her, to silence all of us, to scare us into submission. We will not be silent. We will not succumb. We must understand that we have a power within us that cannot be extinguished. When we come together, we can move mountains. In addition to the November election, we have an opportunity to vote in the December City Council election right here in Renton. It's never happened before, but I would like to see women represented on the council. We have a tall order ahead of us, but I believe we can do it. She's not on the ballot, but I would like to encourage you all to write in Mrs. Patty Butler. She has a deep social consciousness and will be a progressive city servant. We can do it if we all make the effort together. And with that, ladies, I say, to the polls. On your way, be sure to enjoy Mrs. Gertrude Feek's buttery biscuits. Thank you all for coming.
Maggie, Mahala, thank you so much for letting me join you today. I can't believe we are going to spy on Mr. Fred Brendel.
Eula, we talked about this. We are not spying. We are making sure that Mr. Brendel's Renton Drugstore is not breaking the law by selling alcohol. But you should take notes.
We're spying.
Spying, looking, observing, it doesn't matter. I'm out of the house joining the fight. Instead of cooking, washing, mending, baking, I'm out of the house. Spanish influenza took its toll on me, but I can assure you, I am fully recovered.
We are glad you are here, Eva. We were worried about you. How many socks do you think you've knitted for the war so far?
I have lost count. I've knitted socks, mittens, sweaters, and anything I thought they might need. I know, the war is over. That darn siren scared the life out of me. But our boys are still overseas. To think that so many soldiers died merely from exposure.
We forget that our boys were unused to very cold conditions and needed sweaters desperately.
Maggie, you must be over the moon to know that your son is coming home.
Yes, I am quite relieved he won't be fighting. How I wish Jesse could have been with us to see his son become Sergeant Fraser Thomas Story of the U.S. Army.
We are all very proud of Fraser.
Ladies, I believe that is Mr. Bates. He is the Renton City Clerk and is a good friend of Mr. Fred Brendel. He's coming this way. At the entry. Hello, good morning, Mr. Bates. We are doing just fine, enjoying the beautiful sun. It won't be too long before it disappears again for the winter. We're fine. Yes, we are doing just fine. What are you ladies doing? You are aware that hiding behind the newspaper does not make you invisible.
In my defense, I'm not a very good liar.
Enjoying the beautiful sun. We have not seen the sun in 2 months. We obviously need to work on our cover story, ladies. Is that Mr. Thomas?
Yes! He should be at work at the mill. Interesting.
Also, the men are all leaving with the same size brown paper bag.
Let us not jump to conclusions. There could be many reasons why every customer is coming out with the same size bag.
All of these men should be at work, but instead they are here at the drugstore. I have never seen a drugstore so busy in the middle of the day. Mayor William Tonkin, Council, citizens of Renton, thank you for letting me speak here tonight. My name is Mrs. Eula Bensinger. I've been a citizen of this beautiful city for 4 years, and, excuse me, I'm a little nervous. The grievance that we bring you here tonight is about alcohol being sold illegally. Mrs. Mahala Trin, Mrs. Margaret Story, and I spent time observing our local neighborhood drugstore. On November 11th, we witnessed Mr. Fred Brendel sell whiskey to 8 men in the middle of the day. We have their names and exact times they visited the drugstore. While we were observing, we believe Mr. Grant Bates tipped off Mr. Fred Brendel to the fact that the drugstore was being watched by us. We believe this because, Mr. Bates, I am sorry if we've offended you in any way. We are simply stating what we observed. After Mr. Bates came to speak with us, he walked straight into the drugstore. A few moments later, a close sign appeared on the window. If we are mistaken, we apologize profusely. It seemed very coincidental that the drugstore closed just moments after you finished speaking with us. Again, if we are mistaken, we apologize. We also noticed a lot of that activity going on in a vacant building on Main Street. After later watching, we observed that illegal gambling was going on a regular basis. Now, we understand that our town is still recovering from the end of war, but we are fighting a war right here in our own backyard. We pray that you take our concerns seriously. Mayor Tonkin, Council, citizens of Renton, we are the majority. And what I mean by that is that the majority of the citizens of Renton are law-abiding citizens who expect everyone new to our town or country to follow our laws. Mrs. Story, Mrs. Trim, and I can only do so much. But with the support of all of you, we can reclaim our city and live our lives the way God intended. The citizens of Renton have voted, and we must oblige. Thank you, all of you, for your time tonight. And may God bless you and all of your families. Thank you.
I hereby solemnly promise, God helping me, to abstain from all distilled, fermented, and malt liquors, including beer, wine, and hard cider, and to employ all proper means to discourage the use of and traffic in the same. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for coming to an emergency Christian Women's Temperance Union. Unfortunately, Mrs. Margaret Story is unable to lead the meeting today, so you will have to bear with me. I have exciting news that could not wait until our December meeting. Last year, when the referendum passed in favor of the bone-dry legislation, may I add that the vote was 96,000 for and 54,000 against. It was a great victory. but we understood that not everyone was going to obey the new law. On November 12th, Mrs. Eula Bensinger, Mrs. Margaret Story, and I attended a city council meeting to file a complaint that our local Renton drugstore was illegally selling alcohol and that gambling was going on in a few abandoned buildings on Main Street. Thank you to everyone who came forward with information. We reported our observations and told them we believed that Mr. Bates had tipped off Mr. Brendel to the fact that he was being watched by us. Mr. Bates was present and he was not happy with our account. Between us, ladies, Mr. Bates reminded me of a small child caught in the act. He first made a vigorous protest and then pouted the rest of the meeting. We took the higher ground and apologized, but I think council members saw right through him. They listened respectfully, and when the meeting was adjourned, a motion was made. They actually appointed us to assist the Police and License Committee with an investigation. The Police and License Committee found 150 gallons of wine and arrested 5 men. Additionally, they will verify that all druggists in our city get rid of all intoxicating liquor within 10 days. As Susan B. Anthony said, while the old guard sleeps, the young devils are wide awake. We must stay vigilant. God and the law are on our side. Prohibition will be the law of the land. May God bless us all. And let's not forget to thank Mrs. Williams for bringing those delectable scones. Good afternoon, Maggie. I am pleased to report the meeting went very well. Everyone was overjoyed to hear of our success and is eager to continue to be ever vigilant. I really enjoyed leading the meeting and would be happy to stand in again if needed.
I heard that your son is sailing to Europe.
Yes. Even though a treaty was signed, there's still so much to do. Cleanup, war relief, the 131st Transportation Company can still do a lot of good over there. And I don't know when he will be back.
We will keep him in our prayers, Maggie.
Thank you, ladies. The best thing for me is stay busy. We can still focus on other matters at hand, like women's suffrage. Susan B. Anthony said it best. There never will be complete equality until women themselves help to make laws and elect lawmakers. Every woman must have the right to vote.
So many women across the country can't vote. We are only the 5th state to allow it. More work must be done.
Imagine if all women could vote, and in any election, local, state, federal, voting is such a powerful tool. Just think of what we have already accomplished in Washington State, let alone Washington, D.C. Just imagine if every woman could vote for president.
Yes. Women vote. What a woman vote for president. I mean, yes. Not a woman as our president, you know what I mean. Women voting for our president.
Oh, could you imagine?
No,